Great. So it's nearly 5:30 in New Zealand time, based in New Zealand. As you can see, it's a little bit colder here than perhaps you guys are experiencing up in the tropics at the moment. So excuse the way that I'm dressed this evening. Um, I run a company called Island Cruising, and we've been around for the last 40 years in New Zealand. It's actually our 40th birthday party this year. So we've been running yacht rallies around the Southwest Pacific for the last 40 years. And in 2023, I also bought the Down Under Rally. So they both did very similar things, both companies, pretty much sailing up to the tropics and enjoying the season up there and then heading back to either New Zealand or Australia again at the end of the season. My name's Vicky Moore, and I'm the director of the companies, Island Cruising and Down Under Rally. I've been a lifelong sailor and have been doing this job now for quite some time, since 2021. And it's my pleasure to be able to help cruisers up in the islands exploring the beautiful Southwest Pacific. We do a lot of advocacy work in the Pacific as well. So I work with all kinds of different authorities, basically advocating on behalf of cruisers and pushing back on things that are silly rules and regulations or things that I think could be improved throughout the Pacific for cruisers along the way. So I'm also an Ocean Cruising Club regional rear commodore for the Southwest Pacific. So shout out to all the OCC members that are joining us this evening. And I also work with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, and I help them inform them on what normal cruisers are doing throughout the Southwest Pacific to educate all the maritime officials throughout those countries on what typical cruising yachties are up to in the Southwest Pacific. Our main rally is the Pacific Rally, and this departs in May each season from Australia and New Zealand, heads up to the islands. And when we're up in the islands, we pick up all the international cruisers who are coming across from French Polynesia and invite them to join us on the Pacific Rally for the last legs, either sailing south into New Zealand or going west into Australia. It's likely you'll see quite a few of these flags as you're cruising around the Southwest Pacific. So that's us, the Pacific Rally Island Cruising. So as you can see, we have people going in all sorts of different directions. And the beauty of the Sail South and the Go West and also the Pacific Rally is that it's flexible. So it's not your typical yacht cruising rally where everyone sails at the same time from one place to another. The choice is yours. You get the flexibility to do and visit whichever countries that you want, and also connect up with all the other cruisers that are up in the islands along the way. It's a lot of fun. There's lots of support and lots of people dotted around all over the place, as you can see from our rally tracker here, that you can connect up with along the way. So tonight I'm going to be talking to you about the Go West Rally to Australia, but also giving you some tips on how you can sail through the Southwest Pacific, places to visit, cultural considerations, avoiding trouble, biosecurity formalities, and all sorts of other formalities, and also cruising around Australia along the way. We'd love to have you join us on the Go West Rally, but if you'd like to cruise independently, hopefully this webinar will also give you some tips on the research that you'll have to do before you get there. So what is the Go West to Australia Rally? It's flexible dates and destinations. We like to ensure that you have a great time cruising the Southwest Pacific. We keep you informed with all the latest news and events along the way, give you the correct information about the formalities and all the documents that you need, saving you lots of time on your biosecurity clearance. I'll talk to you about that later on. We'll ensure that you understand the local cultural protocols in the Pacific, save you a huge amount of time researching things along the way, and get you access to great discounts at various marine trades. If you take advantage of a lot of the inclusions and the discounts, you can quickly recoup your rally entry fee. We'll also connect you up with all the other cruisers heading in your direction, support you if things go wrong, and the cost is just 650 New Zealand dollars per vessel, which is about 380 US or 340 euros. So why would you want to go west to Australia? It's a fantastic cruising destination. You can either cruise up and down the coast or explore by car. There's world-class marine facilities. You can stay put in one particular area and leave the boat and head home. It's a great place to do repairs on your boat. There's fantastic marine trades and facilities there. And of course, you get easy access back to the Pacific again the following season, or you can continue on up the coast and head on to Indonesia and carry on your circumnavigation. So as you can see, if you're coming across from French Polynesia, you've got quite a few places to stop off along the way, through the Cook Islands, Niue, Tonga, Fiji, of course, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and then on to Australia. Or if you want to, you can also hop down to New Zealand if you've got time that permits. Manaakitanga is a Māori concept of guardianship and hospitality, and it's something that we like to incorporate into our rally values, which you'll find on our website. And it's really important to us that you associate with the same values that we have if you join the rally, and being a considerate cruiser to ensure that cruisers are continued to be welcomed in this part of the world. And that has a lot to do with the way that you treat others along the way, and respecting their culture and their cultural protocols, protecting the environment, and also taking care of each other and other cruisers out there. So you can find our values on our website if you're interested. So my first tip is to take your time. There's a huge amount of territory to cover off in the Southwest Pacific. And if you have time, just slow down a little bit and explore and enjoy some of the places that you're going to see along the way. Often people who are circumnavigating say that the Southwest Pacific is the best part, and they wish that they'd spent longer here, and that's something I hear time and time again. And you'll find friendly people and interesting, diverse cultures in each place that you visit. Spectacular cruising grounds. You won't be able to cover it all off in one season. It's clean, it's mostly safe. There's excellent marine facilities, as I mentioned, a huge amount of territory to cover, and we'll make sure that you don't miss out on anything along the way. So please stop and stay a while. As you can see again from that map, there's so much to see and cover off along the way. So the Southwest Pacific season runs from May through to October in the tropics, which is our Southern Hemisphere winter time. And then in November through to April, it's summertime in the South Pacific, cyclone season. And so most people would choose to either sail south to New Zealand or go west to Australia at this time to get out of the cyclone season belt. As you can see from this picture is a map of all the cyclones that have happened over a period of time. And the Southwest Pacific is certainly prone to cyclones, and coming to New Zealand and Australia is often a requirement of many insurance policies as well. You do have the option of staying in the Pacific too. There are opportunities for you there, and we talk through about some of those options in our South to New Zealand webinar, which was on last night. So if you're interested in that, you can tune in and watch that as well. So tip number 2 is learn about your destinations, and we'll make sure that you don't miss any of the best anchorages and sites that you need to see along the way. And we'll keep you in touch with all the current and local information that's going on, and save you a huge amount of time in researching the places that you're going to go and visit. So we covered off last night the Cooks, Tonga and Fiji, as well as New Zealand. If you're coming through the Cook Islands, Tonga and Fiji, you can tune into that webinar that we did last night. I won't cover it all again because I know some people are watching this one as well. So tonight we're going to talk about Vanuatu and New Caledonia as your stopover options on your way into Australia. Vanuatu is an incredible country to go and visit. This is a picture taken at Port Resolution, which is down at the bottom of Vanuatu. A very welcoming place there. They're trying to fundraise at the moment to rebuild their yacht club. As you can see, this is a little bit of a temporary structure that they're doing the customs clearance formalities there. You do need to apply for permission to arrive into this port, and we can help you out with the process for that. There's actually a lot of paperwork for Vanuatu, and we'll make sure that you have all the right documents and go through the right process to get this team of people to come over and clear you in. Another thing not to miss if you're going to Vanuatu, whether you're on the rally or doing it independently, is to purchase the Rocket Guide to Vanuatu, and we get you a great discount on this as well. It's a computer program that's produced by a guy called Richard Cheshire, who's a very clever man, and they really are a very valuable resource for those people that are going to this part of the world. But if you join the rally, you get access to our website where you can access all of the documentation that you need for getting into Vanuatu, as well as lots of other information. We did a webinar about some of the places that you can see along the way as well. So you can watch the recording of that too. Another great tool for cruising the Southwest Pacific, if you're not already using it, OpenCPN is a very valuable resource, particularly in Fiji, where the charts are not accurate, and we talked about that last night. It's not quite so bad in other countries, but there are still hazards to avoid, and we recommend that you use satellite images as well as your regular chart plotter to do your passage planning. So one of our rally participants has actually developed this tablet, which is a really robust, waterproof and military grade tablet that's all preloaded with all of the OpenCPN satellite images for the Southwest Pacific. And rally participants get 100 New Zealand dollars discount off of that tablet if you're interested. Their website's Project X on the internet. So visiting Tanna, that island that I mentioned previously, of course, most people like to go there to see the volcano. It's an incredible experience. It's probably one of the only places in the world where you can literally walk up to the top of the crater and peer in. There's very little in the way of health and safety, no safety barriers. Literally an erupting volcano. So please be aware that it is incredibly dangerous to go up there. But it is also an awe-inspiring experience and something that people definitely don't want to miss. And we'll connect you up with the people that can take you up there as well and show you a great time, and also give you some tips on things that you should wear and stuff like that. Then you head up north. There's a couple of islands along the way, Erromango, which is very welcoming to cruisers, and then into Port Vila, and Yachting World Port Vila is one of our rally partners as well. They'll take fantastic care of you whilst you're in there, and you can go and experience the island of Efate and then head further north, and we'll keep you up to date with all of the different cultural shows and events that are going on. A particular highlight that people love to go and see is, of course, the Pentecost land diving. And this is only on from April until June. So unless you're going to be in Vanuatu in a very short period of time, you might have missed out on seeing this. And that's all to do with the stretchiness of these vines that they use to launch themselves off of the platform that they create in Pentecost. It's an incredible experience and something that's well worth going along to. But basically you'll feel like you're sort of stepped into the pages of National Geographic magazine. The culture in Vanuatu is very real and is very much alive, and it's not just something that they do as a tourist display. Like, you're actually out there involved with these villages and taking part in some of their very traditional cultural practices and festivals that they throw. In fact, I just had a message from one of our rally participants that's up there at the moment saying that they've just been invited to a circumcision ceremony, which must have been an interesting experience. Thankfully, we didn't get any photos of that. But they're very welcoming people, super friendly to cruisers. They'll literally welcome you into their village and feed you and make you feel very much at home, and want to entertain you and things along the way. And we've got some fabulous contacts there, local people on the ground who really just love to meet the cruisers and the rally participants. And we've got all of their contact details that you can tap into as well, and just call ahead and let them know that you're coming so that they can entertain you when you get there and take you for a tour of their veggie garden. This is Jessie at Lon Wol in Ambrim. But yeah, it's not what you know, but who you know. And we've got local contacts throughout the whole Southwest Pacific. So if you've got any problems or issues along the way, we'll be able to connect you with these people who'll be able to help. So next stop is New Caledonia, and there's way more to Vanuatu than I've talked about there. But of course, we're talking about going to Australia tonight, not just Vanuatu. But I highly recommend that you stop there and make the most of your visit along the way to Australia. New Caledonia is also a very incredible destination, and again, completely different to all the other islands that you would have cruised through to get here. And I've cruised in New Caledonia a few times now. I love it. It's a fantastic destination. And again, the Rocket Guides produce a wonderful guide to New Caledonia. So you can purchase either one or the other or both of these guides and get access to this fantastic discount that we can offer you as well. Noumea Yacht Services the locals on the ground that we have there. And again, if you want to have the help of an agent to complete your paperwork, you can easily do it yourself, but they are able to do all the running around for you, particularly if you needed any help with repairs or language difficulties and things like that. They can help with marina reservations, SIM cards, and all kinds of other things, tours and activities, and that sort of stuff. Super wonderful team. And they also give discounts to the rally participants as well. So I really love Clementine and Alex, these guys from Noumea Yacht Services. There's incredible chandleries and repairs available in New Caledonia as well. In fact, Speed Marine Chandlery is probably nicer than any of the chandleries I've even seen in New Zealand at times. It's an amazing facility, and they also give discounts to people on the rally as well. And we also work very closely with New Caledonia Tourism, and they have put together a fantastic spread of different activities and accommodation, rental cars, and that sort of stuff, and given us all some access to some fantastic discounts as well in that part of the world. Again, you'll get access to our rally resources, so all the biosecurity and forms and customs forms that you need for getting into New Caledonia. And again, we've also done a webinar that you can watch to learn a bit more about exploring this country and this destination. And the French food and the wine and the cheese and that sort of stuff, it feels completely different to, as I said, to a lot of the other islands that you've cruised through. The cruising and the diving, the sailing there is fantastic. So the whole island is surrounded by a big barrier reef, which means you get incredible sailing winds and breezes, but also in very nice flat water and fantastic clear seas and lots of turtles and bits and pieces like that that you can go and swim with. We're also hoping to have some Australia information sessions in New Caledonia around early to mid-October. We're working on a program for that, and obviously we'll let you know when that's available. We'll have some of the Australian marinas come over to New Caledonia and do some talks about visiting their part of the world and catching up with you for some fun social events and things along the way. We'll also help if there are any natural political hazards. So last year in New Caledonia, there was some rioting going on, and I was actually there at the time when it all broke out. And we managed to divert all our rally participants that were on the way to New Caledonia. We sent them to Vanuatu instead. So if there is any major hazards or disasters along the way whilst you're cruising throughout the Pacific, a volcano eruption, protests, earthquakes, any other dramas like that, then we'll be there to help keep you informed and assist in case of any emergency. So the political situation in New Caledonia at the moment is really good. We've got about 20 boats that have been through New Caledonia so far this season, and they've all reported that they've been feeling very safe. And they have also been out to some of the Kanak villages and remoter islands, and they've received a very warm welcome out there. So that's super encouraging. It's a lot calmer than it was this time last year, and everyone is loving cruising in that part of the world. But we're obviously keeping a very close eye on the situation, and if anything changes, we'll do our best to get everyone out safely. That was my ride to the airport last year, which was quite interesting. So tip number 5 is Big Brother is watching you as you're cruising through the Southwest Pacific. And as I mentioned earlier, I do some work for the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and Maritime Crime in the South Pacific. And they're particularly interested in what recreational cruisers are doing as they're sailing across the islands. And my job is to help inform them as to what typical yachting movements look like. And also educating all of the officials as to what cruisers are actually up to out there. What are they doing out there? Because there has been some suspicion that yachties are the ones that are transporting and trafficking drugs and committing other maritime crimes in the Southwest Pacific. So my job is to try and convince them otherwise. But I was quite interested in this process that I've been involved with and the conferences that I've been to as to how much they are watching you. And you know, we often think that we're out there in the big ocean and we can't see anyone, so therefore nobody can see us. That's definitely not the case. They are definitely tracking you, and if you've got your AIS turned off, you're automatically flagged as being a suspicious vessel. So please make sure when you're cruising across the Pacific that you keep your AIS switched on, that you do complete all the correct formalities and advance notice of arrivals. Definitely do not stop on any islands along the way until you're officially cleared into a place. It's in New Caledonia, you're going to sail past the beautiful Loyalty Islands. You must not stop there until you've gone round to Noumea to clear in. And also encouraging cruisers to report any suspicious activity that you see along the way. Obviously, we're out there and we've got our eyes out there. We do see strange things going on. So if you have anything that you see along the way, you can let me know and I can point you in the right direction of a way that you can report and confidentially report any suspicious stuff. In fact, we had a report come in overnight with some suspicious things that some cruisers saw along the way overnight on their way into Tonga. So I've reported that for them today. And of course, they're really interested to hear this sort of stuff. So also, if you are boarded by any officials and searched, you can give your feedback to me as to how that all goes. I know there was a bit of negative feedback out there last season from a particular boat that got searched. And some people were quite concerned about that. It's not something that you should be concerned about. I have spoken to everyone about this and given them some tips on ways that I think that they could do that process a little bit more considerately. So if you're on the rally and you have a bad experience, you can talk to me and I'm happy to, I guess, go in and advocate for you on your behalf, so long as you aren't the one that's committing the crime, of course. Tip number 6, understand the culture. And this is really important. There are some very important cultural protocols for every country that you're going to visit, and doing your research on this is a very important part of being a good guest so that you don't accidentally or inadvertently offend any of those locals. As I said, at the moment, cruisers are very warmly welcomed in the Southwest Pacific, and we want to continue to ensure that cruisers are, and the big part of that is respecting the local cultural practices, particularly Fiji with the Sevu Sevu practice. Sundays are very, a religious day for everyone in a lot of the places throughout the Pacific. So there's a certain do's and don'ts around days, like Sunday, for example, and also visiting some of these villages and the way that you dress and the way that you behave and act when you go there. So we'll make sure that you are 100% aware of what your requirements or expectations are in those places along the way. Right, so once you've finished with Vanuatu and New Caledonia, it's time to start thinking about heading off to Australia or down to New Zealand. So it's about 800 nautical miles from New Caledonia to Australia, about 900 nautical miles down to New Zealand, and from Port Vila across to Australia, it's about 1,000 nautical miles. So it'll take you a week or just under a week to get from Vanuatu or New Cal into Australia. And we'll help you out with a passage planning webinar. We'll run through some of the hazards along the way and give you some tips on the weather and things to watch out for along the way as well. Chesterfield Reef is a reef that's off, if I go back, I can show you, it's up here off of the coast of New Caledonia, between New Caledonia and Australia. It is closed at present. It's a marine reserve. You must not stop there without permission. And we can give you the form to apply for permission to go there, but last year all of the boats that applied were declined, but we can give you the form if you'd like to try again for this season. So yeah, just as I mentioned before, it's about 770 nautical miles from New Caledonia into Bundaberg, or about 1,000 nautical miles if you go from Santo across to Bundaberg around the top of New Caledonia. So we'll help you prepare to go west, and over the coming months we'll give you lots of notes and run webinars and make sure that you've ticked all the boxes of the things that you need to do, because there is quite a bit of admin to do before you head into Australia. We can also help you find some crew. We've got about 100 crew members on our crew seeker list, and we can help connect you with those people to come and have some fun and help you sail across the oceans. We also have rally WhatsApp chats where I answer a lot of the questions, and if I don't know the answer, then I obviously know who to ask to find out. and it's a great place to share ideas and stay connected with all the other rally participants heading in various different directions. We also have a PredictWind rally tracker, which if you don't already have PredictWind, we can get you a 20% discount on the weather subscription. And this allows our weather router to be able to give you specific information based on where exactly the boats are positioned at any particular time. So we'll also give you a lot of information about the weather in the South West Pacific. So as I mentioned, the season runs through until October. From November until April, it's South Pacific cyclone season. It gets very hot and humid in the tropics. And during the November to April, it's of course summertime in Australia. And so a great time to come down and visit. The southeast trade winds are obviously prevailing in this direction, so it's usually a relatively easy passage to get from New Caledonia across to Australia. We include weather routing for the main group departures around the middle of October, and if you are deciding to sail independently or head further south, you need to learn about what a east coast low or southerly buster is, and that's something that we aim to avoid when we're routing everyone into Australia. So it's crucial to get everything right when it comes to weather routing, and we have a very set strategy of the way that we like to send conditions that we like to send people out in. But again, at the end of the day, you're the skipper and you get to make your own decision as to when you depart. And we'll give you all the information and resources that you need to help make those decisions. If you're doing it on your own, you need to do quite a lot of homework on the weather. There's quite a bit to learn about how it all works in this part of the world. As I mentioned, we do weather routing for those group departures from New Caledonia to Australia around mid-October. We use Bob McDevitt, who's a professional meteorologist, and he does daily updates for our weather for our people on passage. And if you'd like to retravel at another time or go independently, we can help connect you either with Bob or with one of our other weather routers. A lot of people obviously also use John Martin, who runs a company called Ocean Tactics. And if you're on the rally, you get actually a really good discount with Ocean Tactics as well for that more one-on-one tailored service as well. When you're on passage, you get obviously your daily weather updates and other email information for anything else that's going along. If you have any problems, obviously we're connecting you with the other people that are out there in your vicinity. And we also work very closely with Passage Guardian, who's a very clever man called Peter Mott, who does helps me track all the rally vessels. And you can check in individually with him, doing a daily sked and getting him to help you out with auditing some of your comms if you want to test anything like your SSB radio or AIS along the way as well. Another couple of amazing people in this part of the world is Gulf Harbour Radio with Patricia and David. If you have an HF radio on board, I highly recommend that you make contact with these guys. They're super kind people and provide a fabulous service. So when it comes to choosing your port of entry in Australia, most people will choose to come into Bundaberg, and I'll talk a bit more about the reasoning for that a bit shortly. But there are multiple places up and down the coast of Australia that you can clear into, including from the top, Cairns, Gladstone, Mackay, Bundaberg, Brisbane, Southport, Coffs Harbour, Newcastle, and Sydney. So all these places and up further north as well. There is very strict biosecurity regulations, and the biosecurity officers charge their fees by the minute that they're spent on board your vessel, or actually in 15-minute blocks. And this can be very costly if you're not well prepared. And we'll make sure that you know exactly what's expected of you and have your boat exceptionally well prepared for the biosecurity clearance to help save you lots of money on your clearance. And we also provide you with a template that you can use to produce your own biofouling management plan. And this is not something that's quite so strict as it is in New Zealand at present, but that it is something that they're working towards in Australia as well. So we recommend that you clean your hull, obviously, before you sail from one country to the next. Of course, you'll go faster, but you'll also avoid transporting any nasties from one place to another. And you should definitely ensure you have a clean hull before you arrive in Australia. As I said, it's not quite as strict as it is in New Zealand, but we provide you with a biofouling and pest management plan template, which will help you to prepare for your biosecurity clearance when you get into Australia. If you're not a New Zealand or Australian citizen, you will need a visa to enter Australia, and we'll give you some tips on the different options. There are a couple of different options that you can choose from, and we'll help give you some advice as to the different options out there that you can investigate that are going to be best for you. International vessels get a control permit, which means that you are allowed to stay in Australia for 12 months to start off with, and this can also be extended if you decide that you'd like to spend a little bit longer. I think it's up to a maximum of 3 years that you can stay without importing the vessel. If you're an Australian vessel, it does need to be re-imported into Australia. They have a funny sort of export-import process, and we have a partner called DASMAC who is able to assist our vessels, Australian vessels, with that particular process if required. And another thing to be aware of in Australia is that many marinas require you to have at least third-party liability insurance of around 10 to 15 Australian dollars, million Australian dollars, including salvage and wreck removal. And a lot of international policies don't have that amount of cover in them. And we've worked with a company over there, and we can help give you a top up to your policy to make sure that you meet that requirement. And that's something that we can share some information about when you join the rally as well. Tip number 11 is booking into a yard, and we'll give you a lot of options as to which yards and marinas to book into and the best marine trades in the country. It's worth trying to book in early. The marinas and the yards around there are very popular. There's a lot of boats in Australia, and we'll give you a lot of tips as to which might be the best places to head to and the different facilities that are available in different areas. And rally participants get a great variety of discounts at different yards around the country. And of course, if you have any questions or problems whilst you're in Australia, I'm always on hand to help, and I'll keep in touch with you during your whole time that you're there and keep you up to date with any changes of legislation or any other issues and news and things that you need along the way. You get a weekly members email which comes out all throughout the next year. You'll get this email for including upcoming events, connections with the island cruising community, special offers with our partner businesses, and all kind of other stuff that's going on around the Southwest Pacific. So of course you get to make new friends and meet the locals, and that's a great thing about the Pacific Rally and joining the Sail South or the Go West Rally. You get to connect up with a lot of the Australians and the Kiwis that are heading to Australia at the end of the year, and automatically have a whole bunch of friends that you can join up with when you arrive there. And there's some incredible friendships that are formed along the way. And on our website, again, there's all the paperwork that you need, as well as lots of other presentations and cruising information about sailing up and down the coastline. So I'm just going to have a drink. As I mentioned before, the most popular port of entry into Australia is Bundaberg Port Marina. And the reason for that is that it's the closest port. So obviously it's the easiest port to get into when it comes to getting a weather window. Obviously a shorter passage is a nicer thing to do. It's got easy, clear access, so there's no bar crossings or reefs or anything like that to negotiate, which is a problem in some of the other ports of entry. They've got a super friendly team, and their customs and biosecurity team there also specialise in small craft clearance. So in a lot of the other ports, you're going to be dealing with officials that just deal with ships on a day-to-day basis, and smaller boats aren't necessarily their main business, so it can be a bit more, I guess, complicated for those people because they don't understand small boats as well as the team in Bundaberg do. They've got fantastic facilities there, including a hard stand where you can leave your boat over summer and leave it on the hard for the whole summertime. They put together some great social events and things as you come in, and it's a fantastic gateway to the rest of Australia as well for those that want to go cruising. And they also provide some fantastic discounts for rally participants. And so as you can see, it's a super nice wide open entry, and literally there's no hazards all the way in here. You can come in and anchor, and they have their customs clearance docks is at the end of one of these places in the marina. And you can see over here is their incredible hard stand facility where you can leave the boat over summertime as well. They've got a massive array of marine trades and things like that. and it's a short drive into the town of Bundaberg. There's an airport, a train station, you can rent a car, you can get around, and it's actually a really nice, interesting town to go and visit. And this is Brent and Donna at the Bundaberg, the team that run the place there. And they're super friendly and really look forward to welcoming everyone into Australia, and a wonderful, wonderful team, really cool people. They've obviously got a travel lift, and they can take catamarans as well up to a certain width diameter. So if you're wanting to go onto the hard stand or haul out there, you can get in touch with them. But they've got incredible facilities there, lots of great tradespeople and things like that as well. And this is their long-term dry storage area. And as you can see, the boats are all tethered down to the ground. They've got concrete blocks inside that are buried down into the ground, and the boats are really well securely fastened there, and very safe for leaving boats there over the cyclone season. If you join the rally, you get a 15% discount on the first 2 weeks berthing at Bundaberg, or you can do a stay pay type deal or get discount for a long-term storage as well. So we're very grateful to them. As I say, you can quickly recoup your rally entry fee by taking advantage of some of these amazing offers that our partners provide. They've got a great chandlery there, a nice restaurant and things like that too. It's a lovely spot. And of course, all sailors will appreciate being able to go into Bundaberg and visit the Bundaberg Rum Factory, where they do a fantastic tour of the distillery, and you can go and try some of the amazing rum that they have there. But they also, at the end of October, I'm just waiting confirmation on the dates, but they have a wonderful festival called the Milby Festival, where you can enjoy some amazing Aboriginal culture and bands and concerts, and also go to their turtle area where there's the turtles nest and hatch their hatchlings out in that particular area as well. So it's a super cool place, and after cruising through the Pacific, you'll feel like it's a very busy place to be in, but it's absolutely stunning and another really interesting place to go and visit. So other ports of entry, you can choose to go wherever you like. You join the rally, you can go into any other place. If you see, Bundaberg's the easiest one, but Mackay is a bit further north, a gateway sort of to the Great Barrier Reef, but it requires careful navigation through the Great Barrier Reef to get in there. And that can be a bit tricky in certain sea conditions, a little bit challenging at the end of a passage, but that's definitely an option. We've got Rivergate Marina in Brisbane, which is fabulous. It's close to the airport, a bustling city. We've got Southport Marina in Brisbane as well, but it also requires navigating through about 50 nautical miles of a commercial shipping channel to get in there. So it's quite busy getting in and out. And again, that can be a little bit challenging for people after a long passage. We also have Southport as a clearance port. That's the gateway to the Gold Coast and the beautiful inland waterways there, and the boatworks, which we'll talk about later on. But that does require a bar crossing. And of course, if the weather conditions are not good, it's very difficult to predict that when you're sailing across from New Caledonia, what the weather's going to be like at the end of your passage. The bar crossing can be a bit of a challenge. And further south, we've got Coffs Harbour, which is a lovely town midway between Brisbane and Sydney. That's a nice option for you as well. Newcastle, as mentioned before, that's a commercial port. So the officials there are used to dealing with larger ships as opposed to smaller recreational craft. And then further south, Sydney, stunning harbour for sailing, but it's quite busy with ferries and other boaties, and they don't have a specific queue dock there for arriving international vessels. So again, just a little bit not necessarily tailored to recreational boats clearing in and out, whereas Bundaberg definitely is. So as you can see with Brisbane, you've got this channel that you need to navigate all the way to get into Rivergate Marina, and it's about 50 nautical miles to kind of get in there. But once you're in there, obviously you're close to the international airport, so it's a great place to be able to quickly fly your crew home. And Brisbane is an incredible city. It really is a lovely place to go and visit. We work closely with Rivergate Marina, who give some fantastic discounts for our rally participants as well. They are quite centrally located. They've got fabulous haul out facilities and a yard You can't leave the boat long term on the hard here, but you can leave the boat in the water on the river, and they've got incredible facilities there. But a bit further south is the Southport. Oops, just go back here. The Southport Bar. So you can see this is a bar crossing, and which is great for if you're leaving. You know, the rally departs from here to go up to the islands on the Pacific Rally, because obviously you're going to be leaving on a day where the weather's nice. But if you're arriving on a day into Southport where the weather's not so nice, you can potentially experience some quite horrendous conditions. And it's best to try and time your arrival with the tide to get a nice crossing through that stretch of water. So let's say you have cleared into Bundaberg. Where do you head to from there? You've got options. You can leave your boat on the hard stand, long-term storage there or in the water. You can then fly, drive, or train to Brisbane if you want to fly home for Christmas. It's a great way to sail south and explore from there. Or you can leave the boat there and return next season to sail north, head up through the Great Barrier Reef, potentially onto Indonesia. Or, of course, you can join us to head back again to the islands on the following year's Pacific Rally. So this just gives you a little bit of an idea of the approximate distances. It's about 740 nautical miles from Bundaberg all the way down to Sydney. Or you can hop down to Brisbane, into Southport, into Coffs Harbour, just to kind of give you an idea. You can actually sort of almost do overnight hops all the way up and down the east coast of Australia. But most people, when they leave Bundaberg, they will stop at Gari, Fraser Island, which is I think it is the largest sand island in the world, actually. It's an incredible place, and it's got this tropical rainforest on it, on this sand island. And you can work your way through this channel of sort of sandbars and things to get out through here, through the Wide Bay Bar. And we'll give you a digital copy of the cruising guide for cruising the Queensland coast, which gives you all of the information that you need to know for sailing through here, and that's valued at 140 Australian dollars. But I got the pleasure of visiting Gari or Fraser Island last year. It's absolutely a really incredible and quite different place. You'll get to see some dingoes, swim in some of these places, and just see all these cool Australian four-wheel drives that are out there exploring and enjoying this incredible place. This is a freshwater lake on the sand island, and yeah, it's incredible. Very white sandy beach, and it's quite weird to be swimming on a sandy beach in fresh water. You know, you don't float quite as well out there, and it gets deep really quickly. So it's pretty cool. And then heading further south into Brisbane, we recommend that you stop in and see the team at Scarborough Marina. Again, you can leave your boat here long term if you're wanting to leave it in the water and sail home for a while. And we've got people in the area that will come and look after the boat for you. We had a couple of boats do that last year. They also have a haul-out yard here and great marine facilities. Super friendly team. This is Richard, who runs the marina, and it's a gorgeous part of the world, and also not far from Brisbane city itself, and further down to the airport. A great spot to come and stop and stay a while with this team. And hopefully Richard will come over to New Caledonia in October to meet everyone and tell you a bit more about Scarborough Marina. And then into Brisbane, I've obviously mentioned Rivergate Marina. They offer discounts on berthing fees and no extra liverboard fees, plus 10% off lifts and travel lifts and things like that. So they've got some great offers for rally participants. And one of their dock hands is John Hembrow, who is the former owner of the Down Under Rally, and he obviously loves to welcome all of the rally participants who go in there and give them some tips on how to cruise in Australia. So John's super good friend of mine and very helpful to all the rally boats that are over in that part of the world. One of our other partners is Dalbora Marinas, which is the largest premium marina and hospitality network on the east coast of Australia. So there's lots of different marinas that you can tap in and out of along the way. They don't offer a particular discount for the rally participants, but they love to welcome you and do their best very much to squeeze you into any of these places as you're cruising up and down the coast. A super friendly team. But yeah, Brisbane's a lovely place to go. There's a great cruising culture, lots of sailors there. You can cruise all the way right up the river and go into the center of the city. They've got ferries that run up and down here as well. It's like 50 cents every time you go on the ferry, and amazing restaurants, great shops, and feels like a very cosmopolitan city to something that you may not have experienced if you've been cruising through the South Pacific for a long time. It's gorgeous. This is the Gold Coast, and they've got this inland waterway that you can cruise through. Lots of sort of channels and creeks and things that you can navigate your way up, and beautiful beaches, of course, surfers paradise down here. Great shopping and entertainment and things like that down there on the Gold Coast. And it's again not that far to get from there up to Brisbane to fly out as well. The Boatworks is another partner of the rally. Again, they don't offer a discount, unfortunately, but they do try and do their best to take care of all our rally participants. It's literally like Disneyland for yachts and the Boatworks. I was completely blown away by their facilities. They literally have thought of everything that you can to make a cruiser's life there easy. They have like cars that you can borrow, a free laundry, cruisers, lounges, and barbecue areas, sort of covered areas with little workshops where you can do all your work on your boat, but you're in the shade, and stairs that walk up to the back of your boat. It's just amazing. And I think they've got something like 200, or I'm pulling numbers out of the hat here, but there's a massive amount of different marine trades and facilities and shops and chandleries and boat builders and painters and dinghy suppliers, and you name it, there's everything that's down there. It's absolutely incredible. The Yacht Sales Co., if you're wanting to sell your boat, they're also based on the Gold Coast. Super lovely people, and if you're wanting to sell, they're an option. We've also got another broker further south. And the Iluka Clarence River also is further south again. So if you're cruising down the coast, they also do discounts for a rally participant, and a beautiful place to go and explore up the Clarence River. On our website, you'll find this cruising guide to the Clarence River, which gives you tips on how you can cruise up there and some of the places you can see. As you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. And then as we get further south, you can cruise into Pittwater and the Hawkesbury River. And I've done a bit of cruising around this part of the world myself. And it sort of reminds me a little bit of the Marlborough Sounds, if any of you have cruised through New Zealand. Lots of very secluded coves and bays and things, and a couple of yacht clubs there that we work quite closely with as well, the Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club. Some incredible cruising, as you can see, all of these different creeks and ways that you can go into, and it's all surrounded by stunning national parks. And you'll probably go ashore and see some kangaroos here as well, or wallabies as well, which is pretty cool. Oh, there you go. I haven't got a picture of one in there. So I was going to say we saw a wallaby in that bay. So yeah, you'll get to see some of the local wildlife and enjoy some of the beautiful beaches, and of course this very ancient landscape. It's quite, again, the geography is very different in Australia to what you would have experienced through the South Pacific, but there's some gorgeous places to go and explore. And that's the Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club. This is an area called the Pittwater, and yeah, if you watched, probably haven't watched this any soaps as you've been around, but you might have heard of Home and Away, and that's all filmed up here as well. This is the one of the amazing restaurants and bars and things that they have looking out over the bay and over the yachts and stuff that are anchored below. It's gorgeous. And our friendly team at DBY Boat Sales are based in Pittwater, and they love to welcome our rally participants into their office, even if you just want to go in and say good day. And if you're not even looking to sell your boat, they'll still look forward to seeing you on your way through this part of the world. And then, of course, it's down to Sydney, and this is an incredible harbour for yachting. A lot of people want to go down here for the fireworks for Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and also to watch the start of the Sydney Hobart Yacht Race, which is an incredible experience in itself, just being out there watching it. But again, the harbour is incredible. You can cruise all the way up into all these different bays and anchorages, and we've got tips on all the best places to go and leave your boat if you wanted to go and explore around. But yeah, this is the start of the Sydney Hobart, and you can see some of the really big racing maxis and things like that as they're on their way out of the harbour. incredible, well worth being there for that. And of course, New Year's Eve, the fireworks are beyond belief, and it's something you definitely want to go and be there for. So yeah, if we've talked a little bit about our distances, kind of getting all the way down here, and you can sort of hop your way down the coast to get into Sydney, and then heading further south again to down to Shellharbour, which is another one of our rally partners. This is a very new marina just south of Sydney, and they've got some fabulous facilities in there for cruisers if you're working your way down the coastline, and you sort of tuck in here, and beautiful, beautiful place. And then down a little bit further and through Jervis Bay and into Eden, which again is another lovely place to call into, and then further south down into Tasmania. And we've got a few of our rally participants from last year actually have stopped and stayed the summertime and actually parked up in Tasmania for a while. It's an incredible place, and it's got a really fabulous yachting history in Tasmania with the wooden boats. They have a wooden boat festival down there, which was actually this year, so it won't be held next year. It's only biannually. But of course, the finish of the Sydney Hobart race there, and lots of fabulous cruising around this part of the world. You can circumnavigate your whole way around Tasmania. And there's even a rally that goes around there as well, which you can join, which is run by the Tasmanian Yacht, one of the yacht clubs down here. Australian Wooden Boat Festival, again, which won't be this year, but the following year. And then you can work your way north again, back up the east coast, catching up on all the places that you've been to and want to explore again. And in May time, you can then either decide to join us to head back to the Pacific on the Pacific Rally, or alternatively sail further up north through tropical North Queensland and beyond to Indonesia, which is what a lot of people choose to do when they get to Australia. If you're into your racing, you can stop off in the Whitsundays, which is stunning. And they have their race week in August, and that is a really stunning part of the world. I've cruised there as well, and beautiful, beautiful places and bays that you can go and explore, including this spectacular Whitehaven Beach, which you might have seen on some of the Australia tourism advertisements and things like that. There's also the Coral Sea in here. It's the Coral Sea Marina. They do discounts, 10% discount off for rally participants heading up the coast. And we also can get you a discount on the book, the Coral Sea Islands and Marine Parks. You can go out and visit some of these places beyond the Barrier Reef if you're wanting to do some off the beaten track kind of cruising. So yeah, then it's time to either work your way back up towards Indonesia, maybe sell the boat in Australia. You can, if you've missed New Zealand, you can head back across the Tasman and join us back on the Pacific Rally again, or head back to New Caledonia, like with a lot of the Australian boats sail with us to New Caledonia in the middle of the, in May again next year. So there's lots of different options once you get to Australia. You can head in various different directions, depending on which way you're planning on going. So you have two choices. You can sail on your own and spend lots of time doing research on everything that you need to know, and possibly missing the best bits along the way, and missing out on all the great deals and discounts that we can give you with being on the rally, potentially being caught with some high biosecurity fees when you clear in as well. Or you can join us on the Go West Rally. As I mentioned, it's 650 New Zealand dollars per vessel. It includes, it's a digital package only, so you don't get our rally guidebook with that, but there is an upgrade if you wanted to step up to the whole Pacific Rally. We can get you the rally guidebook, but you do get all sorts of inclusions, including all the paperwork and procedures for your entry formalities, details on how to reduce your biosecurity clearance fees, membership of Island Cruising, so you can get our members' newsletters, excellent discounts from numerous marinas, chandleries, and other marine suppliers there, advice on where to cruise up and down the coast, a copy of the Cruising Queensland Coast Guide, the digital version, access to all our cruising resources for Australia on our website, weather routing for the group departure from mid-October into Australia. Of course, you've got the opportunity to have flexible dates and destinations as well. We'll invite you to our New Caledonia info session early October once we've got that all sorted. Connect you with all the rally participants heading to Australia, assistance with topping up your liability insurance if you need it, And of course, my guidance if you need any help during your stay in Australia or from when you sign up as on the rally. So I recommend you register early. You'll find our website, islandcruising.nz, join a rally, and you've got the different options for our various different rallies on there. And I'll also email you a link to the recording of this and back to that website there as well. Or you can drop me a message if you have any questions. And if you're still in French Polynesia, this just came through to me the other day from Super Yacht Australia. Some of our rally partners are going to be in there, Danarau Marina, Rivergate, and Coral Sea Marina is going to be on the 26th of June in Marina Taina in Tahiti. So you're very welcome to go along and have morning tea with them and meet up with some of our rally partners along the way. So any questions? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Just have a look in the chat box here. Someone says, is the meeting recorded? Yes, it is. I'm like checking, making sure. Yes, it is. I did say it was recording. So yes, I will send you the link to the recording. Does anyone else have any questions you'd like to chime in or anything? Have I covered everything you wanted to know about sailing to Australia? Good. Cool. Well, you can get me on email as well. I arrange all the clearances? I give you all the paperwork that you need to arrange the clearances. And I also let all the officials know that you're coming and that you're on the rally and provide all that particular information that you need, but you personally submit the documents yourselves. Any other questions? No? Oh, there's Andrew. Hi, Andrew. This is Andrew. Oh, just while you're there, Andrew, say good day. Andrew's one of our rally partners from New Zealand, actually. He's another keen sailor and a sailmaker. So, yeah, nice to see you, Andrew. Sail like you if you want any sails. He's a good guy to talk to. Great. Oh, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate your time and yeah, very, very keen to catch up. Max just said, yeah, biosecurity. Yep, talked about biosecurity. So I can help you with all of that information that you need to know about biosecurity as well. Great. I'll sign off. Thank you again and look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, enjoy your time in the Southwest Pacific. You're just absolutely going to love it on the way through there. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. See you later. Bye.